Course 2, here we are again. The Pythagorean Theorem. Pythagorean Theorem. That's hard for me to say. Lesson 99. So what is it? It just says, well, first of all, you need to know a couple of things. The longest side, bing, of a triangle, of all triangles, is called the hypotenuse. Okay, hypotenuse. The other two sides are called legs. So we have two legs and a hypotenuse. The area of the square drawn on the hypotenuse of a right triangle equals the sum of the areas of the squares drawn on the legs. So here we go. I drew a triangle that was 3 centimeters by 4 centimeters, and the hypotenuse is 5 centimeters. So let's see what they mean. If I draw a perfect square, 5 by 5, that's 25, correct? If I draw a perfect square here, 4 by 4, that's 16. If I draw a perfect square here, that's 3 by 3, which is 9. Guess what? 9 plus 16 equals 25. So they're telling us the truth. So once again, the area of the square above the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the areas of the legs. And you're going to learn a really cute little teeny tiny equation, which is this. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. All right, so c squared, you're going to think of that as always the longest, or the hypotenuse. Hypotenuse. Okay, and a and b will be the legs. So, looky here. Oh my goodness. We have 6 centimeters and 8 centimeters, and we need to know, okay, well, what's the hypotenuse? What is c? Well, we know our formula, so we're just going to plug these numbers in. 6 squared plus 8 squared is going to equal c squared. 6 squared is 36. 8 squared is 64. Add those, you get 100 squared. It's not going to be 100 centimeters. So I have to think, well, what's the square root of 100? 10. So the hypotenuse would be 10 centimeters. What? Let's do it again. This time, they're giving us the hypotenuse. They're giving us one leg, but we don't have the shorter leg. So we're still going to think of it as a squared, there's a, plus b squared equals 13 squared, or c squared. All right, so I have a squared equals 144, which equals 169. This time I need to isolate my a, correct? So I'm going to get rid of that plus 144 by subtracting it. So a squared plus 144 minus 144 equals 169 minus 144. So a squared equals 25 squared. So I have to think, well, what is the square root of 25? 5. So this would be 5 inches, if that's what they all are. Okay, not squared, 5 inches. So the hypotenuse was 5 inches long. All right. Now, who cares about how long they are? Well, we care when we have to find the perimeter, correct? So this one says we need to find the perimeter. We need to find c. So we're going to remember a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So 4 squared plus 3 squared is going to equal c squared. 16 plus 9 equals 25. I went ahead and put it in the radical sign, the square root sign. So what's the square root of 25? 5. So this would be 5 centimeters. Now I can add up all my sides and get to 12 centimeters. Okay? Now, don't be fooled by these. They're going to do this to you a lot, and they want you to figure it out by using the formulas. So it says the lengths are given. Which triangle is a right triangle? Don't be fooled. Remember, a right triangle has to follow this formula, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So let's do this one. I'm going to square 4, and I'm going to square 5, and that's supposed to equal the square root of 6 squared. So does it? Let's see. 16 plus 25, does that equal 36? No, it does not. That is not a right triangle. Looks like a right triangle, but it's not a right triangle. What about this one? 7 squared plus 7 squared should equal 10 squared. So 49 plus 49, does that equal 100? No, it does not. That is not a right triangle. Well, what about this one? 5 squared plus 12 squared should equal 13 squared. 25 plus 144, it does equal 169. So C would be the right triangle. Even though A looked like it could be, use this formula, you find out only C is. That was almost tricky. Almost got fooled. All right, practice set. They are going to want you to find what's the length of A. Well, what am I going to remember? First of all, I want you to do this. I want you to write A squared plus B squared equals C squared. You're going to write that so that you start to remember this formula. So I don't know what A is, so I'm just going to put A squared plus 24 squared should equal 26 squared. Well, what's 24 squared? I better figure that out. So 24 times 24, remember, not 24 times 2, 24 times 24. So that's 16, that's a 9, hold that space, that's an 8, that's a 4. Add them together, you got 576. So A squared plus 576 should equal, what's 26 squared? I don't know, let's do that. 26 times 26, by the way, ruler is the secret, hey, ruler, there we go, is the secret word. Okay, 26, or 6 times 6 is 36. Carry the 3. 6 times 2 is 12. Plus 3 is 15. Hold that spot. 12. 5. So I got a 6, I got a 7, I got a 6. 76. All right. How am I going to find that? Well, let's subtract. Well, here, just a minute. Let us subtract this from that. This from that. This is Van Zalen. Can you be a little more, where am I? A little more specific? Okay, sure, yeah, okay. All right, so 576,001. So A, whoops, sorry. Ooh, made the camera go weird. So A squared is 100. Okay, so what is the square root of 100? 10. All right, so this would be 10. And I'm sorry, I forgot to write. Let's just pretend they're centimeters. So we would label them all centimeters. All right, so figure that out. Subtract, because this plus this has to equal this big number. We get the 100. Square root of 100 is 10. All right, now this one says find the perimeter. And we don't know. I just drew it weird. So we don't know what C is. So we're going to do 8 squared plus 6 squared should equal C squared. Well, 8 times 8 is 64 plus 36. And that would be 100. Oh, 100. So what's the square root of 100? 10. Okay, so now I know this is 10. I'm not done because it says find the perimeter. So 14 plus 10 would be 24. And let's just again say there's centimeters. So 24 centimeters. Okay? It's not really too bad. You just have to remember that formula. All right, your assignment is to do practice set D. I went B and D. I wrote them backwards. Why? Who knows? 1, 4. What did I write there? Ounces and pounds. What? Let me look at number 4. Why did I write ounces and pounds? Now I don't even know why. Oh. Because they're going to ask you for prices, and one price is in ounces, the other price is in pounds, so you have to make sure you use the same unit measure for that. So be careful on number 4. All right, so you do 1, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. If you could have the practice set and all of that done by class, that would be awesome. 15, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 23, 24, 25, 26, 29, and 30. And I'll see you in class. Good night.